Just a few years ago, Blizzard was one of the most beloved companies in gaming. They were the masterminds who made one of the biggest games of all time. They basically created esports as we know it, and then they tried to change what it meant to be an esports pro forever. But as poor decision after poor decision began to unravel the community's trust in their favorite developer, the ugly truth became obvious.
It is a company that is so far out of touch and so corrupt that it's gross.
Because there were signs things were a little bit weird, right? We were being told everything was going great.
It is not fun, it is not skill, it is fucking bullshit.
The agency alleges that male employees play video games during the workday while delegating responsibilities to female employees, engage in sexual banter, and joke openly about rape, among other things.
All of this is awful to hear about, and it's completely normal to feel hurt and betrayed and disgusted, especially from a company like Blizzard that many people still idolized and aspired to.
The Blizzard we all knew and loved died a long time ago. Hey folks, before we get into the video, I just want to remind you all to please sub to the channel and turn on notifications if you haven't done it yet, because it really does help. Okay, so back in the day, Blizzard was on top of the world. An entire generation of gamers grew up playing Warcraft, Diablo, and StarCraft. Every new release wasn't just a hit, it was a revolutionary new approach to a genre. Blizzard's name on any game was basically ironclad proof of quality.
They always had the reputation too, where it was like, we'll release it when it's ready. And it was kind of a joke in the gaming community, right? Because it's like, oh, it's delayed and delayed and delayed. But you knew when it came out, it was gonna be really good. So it was worth it, you know?
All over the world, Blizzard's games were changing the industry. StarCraft became a huge hit in Korea, leading to the development of a massive esports scene that eventually went global.
The team was trying to create the most serious, intense strategy game they possibly could. And there was no sort of expectations. And then I think Blizzard became very aware. Like, oh, this is what this could be.
And years later, with the launch of the Overwatch League, it seemed like a career in esports wasn't just possible, it was basically like landing a spot on a professional sports team.
These guys are getting paid to do this. The league minimum is 50 grand a year?
Yes.
And how high does it go potentially?
So there currently isn't a salary cap. So the scale is as good as, and is, to me, demand of the players. So the reality is, I don't see these guys any different, and these players any different than a LeBron James, a Stephen Curry. They are the elite of the elite at what they do globally.
For years, no one could compete with Blizzard. Their games had legions of adoring fans all over the world, a ton of exciting new projects were coming down the pipe, and for many of Blizzard's employees, working for them was a literal childhood dream come true.
And all of a sudden this email pops up and it's from Blizzard Entertainment. And I'm like, and it was a recruiter here and he said, would you be interested in taking our test for Blizzard Entertainment? I was like, yeah, it's been my dream job since I was 12 years old.
But it turns out that behind the scenes, that dream was more of a nightmare. And the cracks in the facade began to show a lot earlier than many of us realized. In 2008, Blizzard merged with Activision, creating a new entity known as Activision Blizzard. But it wasn't just the company's name that changed. See, even while Blizzard were releasing some of their biggest, most beloved games, it seemed like they were getting further and further away from their founding principles. Games for gamers, by gamers, where every voice mattered.
I love what you guys done with Little Crest. I love the fact that you have a lot of very strong female characters. However, I was wondering if we could have some that don't look like they've stepped out of a Victoria's Secrets catalog.
Wait. Which catalog would you like them to step out of?
Blizzard was slowly but surely losing their connection to the people they made their games for. And tone-deaf decisions followed one after another.
It is a company that is so far out of touch and so corrupt that it's gross. And then they merged with Activision to form Activision Blizzard, and it was like the Power Rangers coming together to make a megazord of pure filth. It'd be like combining dog shit and horse shit and then creating the ultimate pile of shit, which is Activision Blizzard.
And Blizzard's leadership was also ignoring the community's pleas for the sorts of games they actually wanted to play, or for the things they wanted to see in those games.
Have you ever thought about adding servers for previous expansions as they were then?
No. And by the way, you don't want to do that either. You think you do, but you don't.
Mists of Pandaria bled subscribers so hard that it was still shocking, even after Cataclysm got people used to the idea. While it only lost a few 100,000 in the first quarter, second quarter of this expansion, really it led to a fall of 1.3 million subscribers, the game's largest yet.
Of course, no game developer is safe from criticism, but it seemed like the folks over at Blizzard thought they were beyond reproach. As if they'd been told they could do no wrong for so long, they actually started to believe it. And if you need any proof of that, look no further than the disaster that was the Diablo Immortal announcement.
Diablo Immortal. We are so excited about this game. If you want to know more, we'll be back here on the Mythic stage in just a few minutes. For those of you who are here at BlizzCon, thank you. We are going to have... Sorry.
Is there any plans to make this playable on PC, or is this strictly mobile forever?
Are there any... the current plan is to be on mobile, both Android and iOS. We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC. Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
You can play on your tablet too.
Shocking absolutely no one but Blizzard, fans of a franchise that redefined PC action RPGs weren't exactly interested in a mobile game. The whole thing felt like a slap in the face.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
I mean, you've got to know you f***ed up when people at your own convention are booing you, right? But things were about to get a lot worse for Blizzard. Back in 2016, a few years before the Diablo Immortal debacle, Blizzard announced its boldest undertaking yet, a multi-million-dollar professional esports league for one of its most popular titles, Overwatch. Fans could attend matches live in person or watch them on Twitch. When the league finally got underway in 2018, Blizzard was selling out their studio games, bringing in big-name talent from all over esports, and the people loved it. It looked like Blizzard did it again. But behind the scenes, things had already started to go sideways. In February 2019, Blizzard announced their record-breaking fourth quarter earnings, and in a shocking twist, a wave of mass layoffs to go along with those earnings.
Because there were signs things were a little bit weird, right? Where at the end of the first season, we had blown all of our viewership metrics out of the water. We were being told everything was going great. And then at the end of the year, they were like, and how would you like a pay cut too? And we're like, well, that's a little bit strange.
And it seemed like the same thing was happening over on Twitch's end.
I was not able to speak publicly about OWL while I worked at Twitch for obvious reasons. But you better believe that I was the guy in every fucking meeting going, this is stupid and you're all stupid. It did not feel good. I'll tell you why it didn't feel good. Because that league cost a lot of fucking money, and a year later, 11 of my fucking staff was laid off.
Then, in 2020, Blizzard inked a 3-year deal with YouTube, tanking the league's viewership numbers in the process.
Dude, there's also a big change that the OS League is just gonna die completely. Like, there's a big change. Yeah. And when I mean dead, I mean 50k viewers.
The people that made that deal didn't understand the nuance of where a game lives as far as where people prefer to consume that game's content. And while I think that in an ideal world, Overwatch could have certainly grown on YouTube, and it has grown on YouTube. You know, it took time, but at the moment, that was a step back for sure.
Meanwhile, the game itself was increasingly plagued by bizarre balance issues, sending many of its most prolific pros into retirement or seeking opportunities elsewhere.
Well, Goats is dead, and now it's just double sniper, and that's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Or, oh, now everybody's just going to play McCree. Mm-hmm. And at a certain point, I'm like, what the hell do you people want?
So, in other words, you don't want them to eat all the ults in the game like D.Va?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
There are these moments of regret that you have as a game developer. And perhaps eating everybody's ult is one of those.
Maybe this is gonna be a hot take. I think this shit is the worst thing to happen to Overwatch. This shit is f***ed up. It is not fun. It is not skill. It is fucking bullshit. It is dog shit. This is so bad. I don't know, because people are gonna say, oh, what about Brig release? Or what about fucking goats? Or no, this is so bad.
And all of those problems with Overwatch were only the tip of Blizzard's mounting issues. There was the highly controversial ban of Blitzchung, a Hearthstone player who voiced his support for the Hong Kong protesters during an official Blizzard stream.
Activision Blizzard. It has suspended a gamer and taken his prize money away because he made comments supporting Hong Kong protesters.
Then there was the disaster that was Warcraft 3 Reforged. The game looked, sounded, and handled worse than its older predecessor. Blizzard's famous commitment to quality was nowhere to be found. And competitively, a match between Thorzane and Moon at DreamHack Anaheim 2020 had to be restarted 3 times because the game was just that broken.
We have no Breath of Fire, by the way. It is Drunken Haze, so big mischance on these Dragonhawks and a disconnect.
I'm gonna assume Thorzane dropped, but I feel like Moon was on the way to holding this attack. Ooh.
Ooh, wow.
I don't need a Blood Mage, I don't need you. You're benched.
Once this...
And looks like another drop.
So, the games went to shit, Overwatch League was basically dead in the water, everybody thought that Blizzard was China's puppet. Surely things couldn't get worse. But as it turned out, Blizzard was about to hit a new low. On July 20th, 2021, after a 2-year investigation, the state of California filed a lawsuit against Activision Blizzard. In this lawsuit, multiple women who either used to or still worked at the company came forward, alleging sexual harassment, abuse, discrimination, unfair wages, and more.
The agency alleges that male employees play video games during the workday while delegating responsibilities to female employees, engage in sexual banter, and joke openly about rape, among other things. So they're making the girls do all of the work while they talk about rape and harassing them.
Many of these instances were allegedly reported to supervisors and higher-ups at the company, and yet no action was taken. To say that the gaming community was appalled and outraged would be a huge understatement.
Since I've been employed at Blizzard, I've been subjected to rude comments about my body, unwanted sexual advances, inappropriately touched, subjected to alcohol-infused team events and cube crawls, invited to have casual sex with my supervisors, and surrounded by a frat boy culture that's detrimental to women.
One person who is named in this suit is Alex Afrasiabi, former senior creative director for World of Warcraft, who was permitted to engage in blatant sexual harassment with little to no repercussions. He was so known to engage in harassment of females that his suite was nicknamed the Cosby Suite, after alleged rapist Bill Cosby. How does a nickname like that come about? A nickname that everybody knows about, and the guy remains employed.
Needless to say, internally, Activision Blizzard had some serious changes they needed to make. But rather than a total overhaul of a deeply flawed company culture, they simply opted for a change in ownership.
Microsoft bought out Blizzard/Activision. Honestly, this is like some Disney level entertainment monopoly type shit. It's reported that the acquisition was for $70 billion.
You're basically comparing a known negative thing, right? Which is like Blizzard Activision, owned by Bobby Kotick, the fucking worst guy in the world, is on Epstein's black book, and they fire people and they're drinking their breast milk, and so it's like we know what that is. You know what I mean? Like, we know what that is, and so now we're going into completely unknown.
While it might seem that a tech monolith like Microsoft would swoop in and restore order, they're leaving things the same for now. The people most responsible for the alleged behavior at Activision Blizzard are still going to be in charge for the foreseeable future. On top of that, Microsoft doesn't exactly have the best track record when it comes to absorbing other companies and making them work. Let's not forget what happened to Mixer. Look, none of us know how this deal is actually going to work out in the end. But in the meantime, belief in Blizzard's integrity continues to sink amidst public scrutiny and ridicule.
It's really sad to see leadership kind of mishandle these situations over and over again. So I think a lot of people are just tired in that regard too. You know, I just feel like when the news of the lawsuit broke, I just kind of relived all of that at once. Like, I feel like it just kind of like, I just got so angry, like, wow, I lived through all of this, and here are the leaders at my company that I'm working for now saying that this doesn't happen here, because I know it does, you know? So then I was just like, that's unacceptable, and we should own it and try to do better. That's what taking accountability and leading responsibly is.
There's no doubt that the old Blizzard is dead, and it's never coming back. But where does that leave us going forward?
All of this is awful to hear about, and it's completely normal to feel hurt and betrayed and disgusted, especially from a company like Blizzard that many people still idolized and aspired to. It's hard to stomach continuing to give them a sub fee or publicity when they've let this happen, especially considering their responses. On the other hand, I'm not convinced right now that boycotting Blizzard is going to be a direct help to the women that work there. For one, because a lot of those women still work there and have worked very hard on these properties.
I look at Blizzard like a dearly loved relative that is going through a very dark time. And you can't accept and condone some of the things they do, but deep down you still love them because they're family, and you wish the best for them, and you'll be there to help them out if they let you, you know? And so that's kind of how I view the whole thing.
At the end of the day, Blizzard isn't just inept leadership and allegedly horrible internal behavior. It's a company that has been vastly important to gaming as a whole, and that continues to employ thousands of people who are passionate about what they do. Blizzard gave us more than just their games. They helped us form some of our most precious childhood memories. Unfortunately, despite all the love and respect it once commanded, Blizzard is now also a glaring example of just how far even our most revered idols can fall.